Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world are Arise News analysts Emmanuel Efeni and Daisha Bwale. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon, Cynthia. Good afternoon, Vimbai. Good afternoon, Dayo.
Good afternoon.
Yes, we start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, in FT interview, Cardoso says investors getting comfortable with Nigeria's FX market, declares CBN returning to orthodox policy, doing everything to tame rising inflation. Hints at further MPR hike. Fitch Ratings raises concerns over Apex Bank's unverified $2.2 billion FX backlog by Apex Bank. Naira weakens to 1,478 Naira to the dollar. On official window, 1,485 Naira to the dollar on parallel market. Dayo, the CBN governor, in that interview with Financial Times, yes, of course, saying investors are not comfortable with the FX.
They are getting comfortable.
Yes, they are getting comfortable with the FX market. Of course, stability, but again, the Naira still going up, weakening. Well,
Against the dollar.
Against the dollar, yes. But they are concerned about that $2.2 billion FX backlog. You know, the CBN declared that those were unverified. And I remember we were saying at that time that those behind those claims should be named and perhaps made to face the law, because for the due diligence of the CBN governor in ordering that audit, 2.2 billion will have left the economy. But Fitch Ratings, they're now raising concern that that amount has not been addressed, as if it was skipped, and as if there were genuine backlog that have not been
But
cleared.
they have to be verified.
Yes. But
So
which
see,
the
they
CBN
have
has
to
done.
be careful
Yes.
in verifying things. You know, Nigeria, some people make claims when they don't even have invoice, and they'll be paid in the past. So that is sort of audit the Fitch Rating is bringing up to the CBN can always tell him that it's work in progress, that they are at it. But you see, on the issue of investors getting comfortable
with the FX.
you must have statistics. Do you get me now? You must have statistics, because Nigeria is a great investment market. It's a great investment market. No, it's always there. Investors will always come here.
Well,
It's how we manage what our proceeds from such investment. That has always been our Waterloo now.
okay, we hope it is sustainable.
Yes.
Yes, what is happening at the foreign exchange
I like
market.
his optimism.
Yes.
I like his optimism.
Yes, yes, yes.
Mr. Efeni, can we say it's sustainable? Because, I mean, we've been watching this quiet, steady decline of the exchange rate. You know, it made it to 1,000, I believe. And now we're,
It's climbing.
by the day, we're slipping back. We're slipping back. You know, by close of today, you know, we should be, I believe a high yesterday was 1,500, or
Yes,
rather a low.
at the
So
parallel
we're looking
market.
at 1,500 now. So can we call it sustainable when we're seeing a steady decline in value daily?
But that's one aspect
Okay.
of monitoring the economy, and that one is a negative thing. It's because they keep, people keep on putting it in the public
because
domain.
it's pinching our
Yes.
pockets. So.
The other things you use, at the rate at which they are showing it, our economy should have collapsed now. Look at me. But it's still there. You see, if something is over publicized, you get on daily nervous over it.
You don't blame the publicity. It's how it affects.
I am blaming the publicity.
It's how it affects manufacturers who have to import their raw materials, and of
the
course
market
their
is there.
machinery.
That's why he's saying, in spite of this, that's the CBN governor telling you investors are getting comfortable.
Well,
So it's not only yardstick. If you use it as the major yardstick, you will say, I don't like it. But it's there. It's there in the public glare.
Okay, let's look at.
Thank God, it's not the only yardstick.
Let's look
to
at
mark
other
another
stories.
development.
On the front page of this, the Fubara resolved to probe Wike. Falana, 25 lawmakers who defected have lost their seats. Senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, making that statement. Of course, Fubara was steaming with some ready to. It was in a fight mode. If you watch him yesterday, saying that the jungle has matured. Yeah,
that was the term. The jungle has matured.
Yes. And which means, if you remember, Rumble in the Jungle.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, when Muhammad Ali and
the Congo.
Yes, took that heavyweight fight in Zaire. Now, for the Rivers people, of course, governance, the deviance of democracy is what they want. But the gladiators, once upon a godfather,
I think
he's a Wike, and he has these lawmakers who are, of course, his foot soldiers, if you will. But yesterday, the House of Assembly, under the factional House of Assembly, recognized by the governor, of course, what's the number again? 3 or 4 legislators?
They're down to 3.
They met yesterday and screened and confirmed the new Attorney General of Rivers State. And the governor saying that, look, he will probe the last, he will probe governance in the state in the past. Well, some put it in the last 8 years. And I don't know what's going to come out of that dial.
Well, Fubara is being pushed against the wall now.
So he has to
fight back. Yes. But you see, to me, they don't have a legislation. You get me now? Because the number of those who are really legislators is 1/5 of the people who are not supposed to be there because of defection. And those, I mean, that's the legislation that Fubara has to work with. So he has no legislation. So separation of powers has failed in that place.
No, if you say those who decamped have lost their seats, as Femi Falana puts it.
Yes.
As the Constitution.
Yes, Constitution.
That's what I'm saying.
Citing the Supreme Court judgment.
That's why I said they have no legislation there.
On that case between Adekunle and Labour Party, where the Supreme Court ruled that once you decamp, you have lost your seat.
Yes.
Right? So,
and they are in the
but
majority.
now, yes,
so there's no legislation. That's what I'm saying.
So the 3 people who are meeting with their speaker, they have their own speaker, their own mates.
It's just a tea party.
Their first resolution was to remove a motion moving the venue of their sitting temporarily to the government house. And they passed that, and they went on to do other businesses.
Well, there is no separation of powers there. So it's a failure of democracy.
Well, democracy has not failed in that state. If everybody involved can know their limits.
Democracy has failed because there is no legislation. In a system of checks and balances.
It's being tested and it seems to be failing.
Dio,
yes.
When stuff like this happen, according to Constitution, INEC will haven't declared their seat vacant. He will conduct another election.
But
to fill those seats.
INEC has not done that.
Well, maybe because
it's still in court.
because there are a number of cases in court. I'm sure by the time there's a final ruling, and at whatever level, if it gets to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court,
but the tenure,
this 27
time is not waiting for anybody.
No, but when
the tenure of 4 years is running by
at
the day.
any time by the Supreme Court, if that case gets to the Supreme Court, this particular case, and there's a ruling, and they say there are no members, there has to be an election to fill those seats. Otherwise, those constitutions will be shortchanged, right? So democracy has not failed. It's a test of democracy, we're saying.
But we need our judicial system to move faster because this issue is dragging on unnecessarily long. The budget is being consumed by the day, and
there was a budget passed.
There was a budget passed, and I'm sure it's in use by 3 lawmakers. So where is the state going?
No, when the new budget is due, what will happen?
That's the question.
You have the very stark example of the failure of democracy. You are not seeing it.
Well, if we just look at the Vanguard newspaper, Labour protest disconnects NEC, TCN, Disco's offices. That's in Nigeria, but in South Africa, the Citizens newspaper is reporting, and I know Vimba will giggle. Eskom not out of woods yet. The same Minister of Energy who told the world that the lack of the non-load shedding they have enjoyed is due to hard work and teamwork, right? It's not saying they are not out of the woods, and it's tongue-lashing the CEO of Eskom. So that in itself, but in Zimbabwe, Daily News, we only follow what ED utters. Mike Haire says, amid fresh 2028 speculation, some persons are urging the president, Emerson Mnangagwa, to go beyond the two-term limit constitutionally. I hope he will not make the same Mugabe mistake of wanting to stay forever in power.
We sure hope not. As we were talking about testing democracy, go on, Mr. Shobola.
Our foreign news should cover the world, not only Zimbabwe because of...
On that note, let's test democracy in the studio. Who votes for a break? Mr. Dayo Shobola, Mr. Emmanuel Efeni. Democracy in the studio has voted that it is time for an ad break. Thank you for your time today.